In this section we're talking about transformations. We're going to be talking about three main transformations here: the transformation of translation, reflection, and dilation. These transformations can be done by transforming a single point or a set of points that can create a figure. So right now we're just going to be looking at a triangle. The original figure that you have, or the original point, is going to be called your pre-image. What you create, whatever you create from whatever transformation you do from your pre-image, will then become your image. Now, translation is the first transformation we're going to talk about, and that's movement created by adding or subtracting from the x or y values. So there's always going to be some rule through your translation. So maybe for this specific problem, we have a translation of x plus 2, y plus 2. That means for every single one of my coordinates here, I'm going to add 2 to my x value and 2 to my y value and end up with 3 new points. Now, if I have a translation that might be a, let's say it's x and y plus 1, that means that my x values will remain the same as my y values move. So my x values would remain the same and my y values would move up 1. The second one is reflection. With reflection, we're going to be flipping a shape across a line of reflection. Okay, so let's say we had my original pre-image here, and we have this y-axis. This y-axis is where x equals 0. So my equation for this line would be x equals 0. This coordinate is 1 unit away from this axis. So I would want to put another coordinate, 1 unit, on the other side of this line of reflection. And I do that for every one of the coordinates. So this is 5 units to the left, so I'll put it 5 units to the right. This is 7 units to the left, so I'll put this 7 units to the right. And then I can connect and draw my figure, and I would have a reflected image. Now, you don't have to always do this with horizontal or vertical lines. Okay, you can also reflect across lines that have slope, like y equals x or y equals negative x. The third type of transformation is dilation. Now, dilation, we're going to be changing the size of the shape by multiplying the x and y values by a scale factor. Okay, by a scale factor. So it's the same concept as translation, except we're not adding and subtracting, we're multiplying now. So let's write down the coordinates of our new image here. So we have a coordinate at 1, 2, at 5, 5, and here at 7, positive 1. So if I wanted to dilate this figure and give it by a scale factor of 2, every single one of these values will be multiplied by 2. So this new point would become 2, 4, 10, 10, and 14, 2. I can also have a scale factor that's less than 1. If that happens, then my figure is actually going to get smaller instead of grow. So let's say I had a scale factor of 1/2. Every single one of these values would be cut in half. 5, 5 would turn into 2.5, 2.5. 7, 1 would turn into 3.5, 0.5. And 1, 2 would change to 0.5 and 1. And then I could connect these points, and I would have my new image, or my dilated triangle. So dilation isn't just about making a shape grow, but it can also be about making a shape shrink down to a smaller size. Now, these triangles still remain similar. They're similar figures. They still have the same angle measurements, and their sides are proportionate to one another. But they're just changing how large they are. So those are the three different types of transformations. What I want you to do, in addition to this, of what you see here, is I want you to just plot 4 separate points now, do 4 points, and create a translation rule for yourself, a reflection rule, and a dilation rule, and do it on your own. So create 4. If you can do this on your own, if you can create the 4 or 3, this is a great way to study and prepare for your test. I would advise you in the reflection piece to maybe create a line that might be something like y equals 2x minus 1. Challenge yourself. Don't just do a vertical or horizontal line. Allow yourself to do a line that actually has slope. So that's what I'll be looking for when I check your notes. Not only for all this to be written and drawn, but also for you to have 4 points plotted and for you to have translated, reflected, and dilated those 4 points.